Welcome to Heartland Makes and Outdoors. I'm your host Dale, and today we're going to be doing a video on 3 ways to hunt javelina successfully. I'm going to factor them in as fun, funner, and funnest. So if you enjoy hunting and you've never hunted javelina, stick around. We'd love to talk you into watching this video and maybe even share it with others if you find something helpful. Again, thanks for tuning in to Heartland Makes and Outdoors. In this video today, we're going to be talking about trad hunting for javelina. We're going to be talking about 3 ways for success, how I got involved with the javelina trip, and things that you can think about if you're prepping or planning to hunt javelina. As many of you know, I came from Oklahoma. We don't have javelina in Oklahoma. I've never actually even seen one until this trip. Okay, so here's what happened. As many of you know, that OJam's coming up, and it's actually coming up in this week. So by the time you see this video, you can put it on your calendar. It's roughly 2 weeks out until OJam starts. I was perusing Facebook on OJam, and a guy made a post about a couple of hunters that were in a group that can't make the hunting trip, and it was a short notice deal. I immediately reached out to them, and basically what it was is it's a group of longbow hunters that started this tradition amongst their group roughly 20 years ago. So the guys I went with have a lot of experience, and they taught me a lot of things, and that's why I'm telling you kind of the background. I'm a brand new novice javelina hunter, but I learned more from these guys hunting with them in a short 3-day trip than I did 2 weeks of research on YouTube. Number one is basically hunting just like you would if you was in as a deer hunter. You can either sit on the ground or get in a tree stand. Now I will tell you, when you're hunting down in cactus territory and the small brush trees that they do have, you're probably not ever going to get a tree stand up at high enough into what you would feel comfortable if you was deer hunting, say in Oklahoma or northern Texas or whatever. They just don't have the trees for that. However, getting up off the ground is going to be a huge benefit. One of the hunters there was a lady, and she was able to get her tree stand, and I think it was only about 6 foot off the ground. The benefit to that was the javelina are constantly scanning the lower levels for movement, i.e. the coyotes are real bad out there. They've also got mountain lions out there. There's a lot of things in life that are trying to eat them, and they're coming from ground level, so they just don't look up like they would if you was hunting on the ground. Now, along with hunting on the ground, you're going to be looking for areas where you've either previously seen javelina or you know there's some good signs. Where we were at, there's actually a lot of javelina, and we were blessed. I've seen probably 15 to 30 each hunt that I hunted, whether it be morning or evening. Sometimes in the afternoon they'd still be milling around because the sun was up. It was perfect weather for hunting. It was really cold in the evenings and nice. It'd be a decent warm up into say 60-ish during the day. So it was comfortable hunting weather, and the little bit of cool I think helped them move around. The one cold morning we had, I think it was like 30 something degrees. The javelina weren't out early that morning, so that's something to think about. Now the wild hogs were, but not the javelina. I didn't take my climbing sticks or my saddle because I was already told that there just wasn't enough trees or brush out there. The people that did have a stand, they had basically a 12-foot stand. They just took a couple extensions off the bottom of it and leaned it up next to the brush, and that actually worked out for her, and she was successful hunting that way. I had several that came up to me, and they would get within that 30-yard range and then basically spook off. Now, like I was saying, the ground blind or a tree stand would be one option. One of the things that I want to point out real quick is some of the characteristics of the javelina. Number one, they have, I would say, less than stellar eyesight. However, they do have a good sense of smell. So just like with deer hunting, if you're going to be putting your stand or your ground blind up somewhere, you need to be cognizant of which way the wind's blowing, because if the wind's blowing towards them, you're not going to see them. Their sense of smell kind of takes over for their lack of vision, and that increases their odds of success of staying alive from the predators because they do have such a good sense of smell. Now, with that said, one of the things that I do want to discuss real quickly is the kill zone for a javelina is much smaller, and you're talking about maybe the size of 2 tennis balls. You guys have seen me practicing, out here shooting the tennis balls on purpose. Aim small, miss small is kind of my motto, and using the tennis ball as more of a way to hone my skills with my longbow is what I've been doing. You're going to want to do that before you get out with a trad bow, because I'm telling you, the kill spot on the Javelina is much smaller than it is, say, a wild hog. Kind of think about that when you're getting ready to practice hunting for these animals. Again, the average size for these animals, I want to say, is like 45 to 65 pounds, maybe about 2 foot tall, and that's just kind of some rough estimates. It's not a very big animal to begin with. The one thing that I will tell you is they do have a distinct smell. The smell reminds me of a skunk, and you may even, if you Google much of this, you're going to see it. People refer to them as the skunk pig. The Javelina is not actually in the pig family. It's out of a different family, and they're not even related to the pigs. However, their scent glands is on the top of their back, near the lower end of their back. So they'll get up and rub on each other, and that oily scent gland, which produces this kind of skunky smell, they end up wiping it all over each other, especially in their little family groups that they run in. That is another big thing that I want to say, is if you see a Javelina by itself, you might stand still for a little bit, because they generally run in larger groups than by themselves. They prefer to be with their family group. So again, if you only see one, know that you either missed all the other ones or some more coming out. So that's something else. Okay, so hunting style number 2, which is another way to have success, another arrow in your quiver, if you will be the spot and stalk. So basically, you're going to sit there and you're going to use your binoculars, your spotting scope, whatever you have, and you're just going to be looking for them. And once you see them, then from there you're going to take on your stalking. Now, the one thing I'll tell you is, again, be mindful of the direction of the wind, because you're not going to be able to stalk into them coming upwind from them. You're going to have to circle back around and figure out a way to get in on them downwind. Now, here's the wonderful thing about their eyesight. Their eyesight not being too good, you can easily stalk up to 50 yards. They don't even pay you any attention. You can easily get within 40 yards. They're still not paying attention. That magic number of what I noticed when I was down there seems to be about 30 yards. So once you get into that 30-yard range, odds are they're going to puff up and they're probably going to run off. So be prepared and mindful of that. If you can get into a spot where you can kind of hang out and them keep working towards you, that is ideal, and that's probably going to be your most successful way to take one of these, especially with a trad bow. In my opinion, it would be really easy if you was using a compound, a crossbow, or a rifle. They're just, you can walk straight to them within 40 yards and they will not run off. So that brings us to the last way that you can actually get your Javelina and have a lot of fun doing it, and I would say this is the funnest way to hunt them. Alright, I'm going to break this up in the middle of the video. We're going to go ahead and do the drawing right now. So let's see who won the leather lock shooting tab. And it is Sigman Archery. Congratulations, buddy, you've won. You can send us an email at heartlandmakes@gmail.com. That's the easiest one to write down anyways, because we've got several emails. But heartlandmakes@gmail, if you'll send me an email, we will get you your leather lock shooting tab sent to you. If you guys are not familiar with Sigman Archery, he does a lot of videos on different bows and reviews them. He's got a great channel, and go over and give his channel a look and subscribe to him. I'm sure he would appreciate that as well. Again, congratulations, Sigman Archery. You've won the leather lock shooting tab. Again, thanks for all of you who have taken the time to watch that video, enter it, and you've shared our videos with others. We truly appreciate it. So let's get on to the funnest way to hunt Javelina. Is we saved this for the very last day, because once you do this a couple of times, they're going to be scared, and you're probably not even going to be able to walk up on them on the 50 yards when they haven't been dispersed. So basically, it's the same as the spot and stalk. You're going to spot them. When you see them, you're going to go after them, and then what you're going to try to do is break that big group up so that they're scattered across both sides of the trail or road or whatever it is you're hunting on, and try to call them back in. I do have some clips of us actually right after they run off calling. We've got one guy that's with us in the group, and I want to say really guys, it works out better if you got 3, 4, or 5 guys. That way you got 1 or 2 that can be calling, and you got 2 or 3 that are kind of covering each other's different directions, so that you're not going to be doing any kind of crossfire or anything like that. But once they break up and the calling starts, it's actually pretty dang fun. Once they start running around, when you start doing the calling, they're going to try to come back and help their injured mate. So essentially what happens is they're going to be running back towards you or the person that's calling and trying to help its buddy that they believe may be injured. Now again guys, this video I'm trying to hopefully help you understand and give you some insight on some ways that you can hunt these animals. They're a very unique animal. Again, they're smelly along with that oily scent gland. If you do get one, what you need to be prepared for is when you get ready to field dress it, you need several pair of rubber gloves. That's going to be really important and help you, because if you touch their hide, you cannot touch the meat. So as you're skinning it, you need to make sure that whatever hand's holding onto the hide never touches the meat, because that oil, just like a drop of oil in a pot of water, it just spreads over and it's gonna taint the meat. So it's very important to take several pair of gloves. I would even go as far as to say take you a couple extra knives. That way if you do end up touching the hide, either have a way to clean the knife or start off with a fresh knife that you know isn't going to have any of the oil on. And again guys, if you enjoyed this video and you found some helpful tips or tricks that could help you when you go javelina hunting, or maybe even somebody that you're going to invite to go with you this year who haven't hunted javelina, if you found this video helpful in any way, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, comment, and share. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our video, and again, we hope you have a blessed week.